Lego Vidiyo, a theme unlike any other, nowhere to go but up, full of endless potential, and that's not true. I don't believe it, you don't believe it, I don't think anybody ever believed it. Hello there internet, welcome to Sans, and as a part-time professional complainer, it's my job to get into the nitty-gritty and grab out those details that no one really noticed, or care to notice, or just plain out don't want to know. With undesirable Lego sets, an app that barely functions, and a second wave that never hit store shelves, there is quite a list of things that went wrong. And as the only male in the United States, and probably the world about video shoelace charms, I feel like I'm the best to talk about this. Now I want to try this little exercise. If we could narrow it down to one little thing, one little sticking point that might have went wrong, what could it possibly been? The list of problems is absurdly long, but let's just start with Universal. UMG, or Universal Music Group. If you follow the music industry or care anything about YouTube, which you clearly do, you might have heard about them and how terrible their track record is. When the Lego Group approached the Universal Music Group, or vice versa, for new collaboration, they wanted to take the physical and the digital and slam it together somehow to make something new and exciting, something that kids would love and parents would adore, the whole world would cheer, but no. That didn't happen because it never does. Credit where credit was due. There's a few cool things. The minifigures were pretty neat. Weren't super cohesive. This is about how cohesive the minifigures were. But the minifigures are just a speed bump. Lego has been trying to run away from their destiny of doom for the better part of 3 decades, trying to get in the digital world before the physical world disappears from underneath their feet. We've seen it time and time again, whether it be the digital world, the app world, or whatever fantasy world this is. And this is where UMG came in and swept Lego off their feet and said, YouTube, but for babies. And then they realized TikTok was already a thing, so they came up with Lego Vidiyo instead. It was huge success! Boom, 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 boom! The world goes crazy. This new product hits store shelves a-running. Parents rejoice that this new app is This new app is here to teach our children the ways of those forefathers before us. Or maybe, kind of. But no, not at all. Lego in the past, when working with any other group that does digital anything, has always come up slightly short, or super short in some scenarios. All the scenarios. A lot of scenarios. There are a few things that have always set Lego apart from its competitors, and one which I am more than willing to give them the credit for is being consistent, because they have been, for a long time, the most consistent. The Lego Vidiyo app follows all of the Lego user interfaces from the past with this unyielding list of issues. Laggy, can't share your videos off-site, can't download your videos, scan your minifigures every time. There are only 2 things I can give the slightest hint of praise, and that is that when you scan in your beat bits or band members or beat boxes or all of the beat related items, it keeps a list and a checkoff sheet for what you do and do not have, which is nice, except you can do that on other sites way more efficiently. And the second thing is that there aren't a ton of ads everywhere. It's not one of those freemium games where there's malware ads running about, but seeing since the app itself is just one big ad to go buy more Lego Vidiyo, kind of a moot point. Lego tried. They pulled out all of the stops. They used their connections with Universal Group to bring out Neo, the black one, but they brought out the llama. It's just a llama. But they did connect with Nintendo to do Animal Crossing? Why? Where they weren't pulling out all the big stops were with the beat boxes. For the most part, it's a great package until you look at the price point, where it's $20. That's a bit much, which a lot of people noticed, including the retailers that put it on sale immediately after it hit store shelves in the UK. Quickly following in the United States. That's not the only thing that followed the United States. The second wave of sets took forever to get here, and the time they did, Lego was announcing, "Hey guys, we're sorry, but we're gonna cancel Vidiyo because no one actually likes our product, and oops." But as we're going along, we're seeing why we didn't like their stuff. And now this is where we get to the crap-filled cherry on top of the sundae of the CMF series. And before anybody has any potential rebuttals and wants to say that it's not a collectible minifigure series, you're wrong. I want to run through a simple exercise. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, acts like a duck, and looks like a duck, unfortunately this duck was packaged in a box. Which in numerous ways is kind of disgusting. Now, applauding to Lego that they're finally following the trends that have been set for years and years now, where little mystery toys are in a box that you can't actually feel out, so you have to buy a mystery and you can't feel it out, which kudos, Lego, you made a few extra bucks, but no one bought it anyways. Unlike the bags CMFs have always been in, you had the option to try to feel them out. And for me as a child, and a lot of children, feeling them out is the only way they can get the few figures that they can actually afford in a series or a wave. When taking away the option to do that, it doesn't ring like how LEGO likes to praise that they had kids' interests in mind. And don't give me the excuse that it's more eco-friendly. I will not buy that for a second. I saw the little voting poll that they had. If we put it in cardboard and it made it maybe a little bit more friendly for the environment, would you be willing to pay more of a premium price for it? No.
Fortunately, the lost souls that'd be willing to pay some premium price for a lesser subpar package like a box, they can find help, and help is here.
Hello, and welcome to Why the Way You Think is Wrong. Now I hear you're a young, fresh-faced company trying to do the unthinkable. Make a good product. Now hold on, let's not get too carried away. We want to learn from those that came before us and not make the same mistakes that they did. This right here, this is a box. Ordinary, simple, plain, boring box. Now you might think this box is the answer to all of your problems, but I am here to tell you why you are wrong in the way you think. Now see this? This is a bag, a far superior receptacle than anything like a box. Now when we hear the famed and fortunate cry out their success, we don't hear them say, "It's in the box." No, we hear them say, "It's in the bag." Now hold on, you might be a non-believer, and I would be too if I didn't know what I knew today. Let's take a look at a few examples to show you again why you're wrong in the way you think. Pass the bag of chips, an Americana classic. We're not asking you to pass a box of Glutinous Forever gluten-free table crackers original. Gluten-free, that's not even a cracker. Goldfish, the greatest salty snack of all time. Now, if I ask you what's the best receptacle for goldfish, you better well say bag. But you might say I like bigger, I like better. You'll go for that milk carton style box. Well, you're wrong again. See, this style of box lets it go stale. And if you want bigger, you want better, you want the best, you get the big box. You know what's in the big box? 3 smaller bags of goldfish. May I purchase a dime bag of your finest crank, sir? Well, of course you can, son. Not only are bags easy to take around without being noticed, but a dime crate is just not practical, and to be honest, it's quite uncomfortable. Now that I've shown the error in your ways, you now know a box isn't the right call, but a bag, it'll always be your friend. Cardboard box is a fine idea if LEGO's trying to be more eco-friendly, and I wish I could believe that were the case, except they took the same plastic bag that they've been using for minifigures and just put it in the box. Seems like we're taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back here. Before I go down even further the rabbit hole of the horribly presented minifigure series, I'm just going to move on past that and talk about how LEGO's promoting gambling. Barring those that came with the newest LEGO video sets that are currently out, Claire has every beat bit that they have made. There's well over 100 of them, and while I think that might be impressive, it's kind of a concern. Now, the numbers are a little bit foggy, but I believe in the first wave of video there was 104 beat-bit tiles, which is kind of absurd. In each band member box, or the CMFs, there were 3 tiles, 1 exclusive and 2 random. In the beat boxes, there were 16 tiles, 2 exclusive, and the rest being random. We have touched on price a little bit with the beat boxes being $20, but the band members, or the CMFs, were $5 each. That adds up real quick. I think little collectibles and LEGO sets is really fun. I have all the 20th anniversary Star Wars minifigures. Not only is it a fun way to keep getting more sets, but it also works for LEGO because there's more incentive to go out and get the final set that you might not have to get that one little Ring of the Moon piece for Monster Fighters. It's kind of a lot, especially when it's a mystery what you're getting each time, and while I know it's not gambling and they could easily pull up the same excuse that someone like EA does with their loot boxes, it's not gambling because you're getting a product at the end, you just don't know what it is.
I'm not really giving a good grasp on why it's comparable to scratch-offs, but for kids. The collective total of video sets that came in my possession was well over 40, and just the base amount were CMFs, just enough to get a full wave. The rest were just a bunch of extra beat boxes, most of which were on sale. But all that given, here are all the extra tiles that I just have lying around doing nothing. And that's still not enough. That's still not all of the tiles. One was still missing, and it wasn't acquired until someone else gave it to me.
LEGO, what the hell are we supposed to get from this? We've received such a positive feedback from our launch. From whom? You have a broken app, grossly overpriced LEGO sets, and you had to cancel it in the first 6 months. You know, this video has taken me quite a while to work on. actual months. I've been working on this video for months, and the quality does not show at all. It's not from a ton of extra work that I would do normally. A variety of reasons make that the way it is. I got distracted and stayed on my phone too long. I lost a little bit of interest partway through. But I think a direct comparison can be drawn from this. I'm kind of like Lego Video, and not the minute details, but the overarching grand story. I put things off for the future, hoping that it'll magically come out better. I'm making a product that's lackluster and took way too long to produce. But most poignantly, I brought in another group of people to drag down with the sinking ship.
I'm not trying to hate or cause any drama, but videos lame, and it's not because of llama. I'm not trying to hate or cause any drama, but videos lame, and it's not because of llama. First things first, we'll just get this out the way, because this is not a diss, it's just something I had to say. You claim to play well, but with this it's well played, and I know a couple fans that are feeling the same way. Why'd you go and make a theme with no sets in the first wave? Just some overpriced boxes, could have been some bandmates. Then you tied it to an app that was following the phase. This is hit aside again, you foreshadowed an early grave. Videos lame, Lego do better. Cause this was so bad, I'm not rocking with the boxes, put them figs in the bag, because everything you get is still legit in the bag. You get goldfish, drugs, even chips in the bag. If you're rocking with the swag, you got sticks in the bag. And video as a theme was the equivalent to that, cause see you mess up what you had. But at least we can agree that the figs were the best part, and I will admit it, beat bits had some fresh art. Back to the drawing board again to get a fresh start, while everything is headed for the clearance shop at Walmart.